Hello everybody and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be talking a little bit about how to not get overwhelmed or burnt out when you're working on a big project. Now when you're working on a big project, it can be so easy to get caught up in like how much you need to do, and you just get overwhelmed with all the work and you really just end up getting nothing done, and it just keeps pushing that deadline further and further and further away, and just really making that long project even longer. And so this is really just one simple lesson that I learned while listening to a podcast with Andy Stumpf. Andy Stumpf was a Navy SEAL. He was also a Navy SEAL instructor, and he's one of those crazy people who jump off cliffs in those flying squirrel wingsuits, and just really cool guy overall. But anyways, he was talking about specifically during BUDS, which is kind of the first SEAL training that Navy SEALs go through, and that's the one that you always see on TV where they're like bench pressing logs in the middle of the freezing cold ocean and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And he was talking about how there was one characteristic that all the SEALs who actually made it through to the end of BUDS shared that helped them get through, while a bunch of the other ones quit. Even though they all pretty much had the same physical capabilities, there was one certain mindset that the people who made it all the way through to the end of BUDS had that the people who quit didn't necessarily have. And this one mentality is something that I think I had already been doing, but now that I heard Andy actually put it into words, it's something that I've been a lot more conscious of and really making a point to implement in my day-to-day life. Of course, for me, this applies to game development projects or anything else that I'm working on that's extremely long-term. But for you, this can apply to anything that you're working on in life that, you might have a lot of different things to do to complete this one big overall goal that you may have, and you might just be feeling overwhelmed with it. So definitely see if you can apply this into your own life. And so this mentality is to keep your world small. So instead of getting overwhelmed with the big picture and how much work you need to do, and constantly stressing out about all these tasks that you're going to need to do later this week or later this month or later in the year to complete this one big project, and just constantly worrying about how long it's going to take you to complete all this and everything, you just really need to keep your world small and just kind of focus on the core things that you need to do right now to get that work done. So the way Andy was explaining it for the Navy SEAL training is that the people who could keep the world small is the people who are just saying, hey, if I can just make it through today, or if I can just make it through to the next meal, or maybe even smaller than that, just saying, hey, if I can just make it through this one exercise that we're doing, and then I can be done with that, and then we'll move on to the next thing. The people who thought that way were the people who actually made it through to the end of BUDS, whereas the people who did not share that mentality and the people who were thinking of, we have so many more days and months of this to go, and it's just going to be horrible, and I'm going to be feeling like crap all the time, and I'm going to be in the trenches, and it's going to suck for so many weeks and months. Those were the people who ended up quitting. Again, the people who ended up succeeding were just saying, hey, this sucks right now, but if I can just make it through to the end and to when I get a meal, everything is going to be all right. And yeah, after that, I'm going to have to do more, but you just take it one thing at a time. And now I'm not saying that you should be completely ignorant of the overall picture. Of course, you need a good look at the overall scope of work so you kind of understand everything that's involved and the path that you need to take to reach your end goal. But you can't be focused on that all the time. When you're planning, you can kind of plan things out, and every once in a while kind of revisit that overall plan just to kind of make sure that you're on track. But on your day-to-day basis, you want to be focused on the few things that matter to push the ball forward to meet your end goal and stay on track. And so for me, I think a good way to do this is to just kind of have like a general sense of what I'm trying to accomplish, and then kind of break that down into maybe the tasks that I need to complete within the course of a month or the course of a week. And then from there, I can kind of say, what things can I do tomorrow that can actually push me towards these goals? Because I usually plan my day at the end of the day. So I just say, hey, what are the top 3 things that I need to finish tomorrow that will keep me on track to actually completing my goals? And then that way, when I actually go do the work, it's like, hey, I only have 3 things to do today. Once I complete those 3 things, then I'm done and I can relax and not worry about it, and I can refresh myself and be ready to complete the next 3 things tomorrow. So, I mean, I think it's a pretty simple concept overall, but it may be a little bit of a mentality shift for a lot of you out there who are kind of, worried and stressed about the big overall picture and getting overwhelmed about, how it compares to something else. But the key is to not focus on the overall picture. The key is to focus on the 1 or 2 things that you need to do right now and complete those to the best of your ability. Because if you put in your best effort onto just the small itty bitty little things, after a while, you're going to build up something great. But anyways, that's just about all I have to say for today's video. Definitely let me know what you think about this concept of keeping your world small, and if it's something that you already do or maybe are planning to do down in the comment section below. Of course, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel for lots more videos on video game development. And if you do have any other questions for me or suggestions for future videos, feel free to leave those down in the comment section below. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.